I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm Scott. We are reviewing Disenchanted.
You said let's do Disenchanted. I said I haven't seen Enchanted, so I went back and watched it. These
Thank
are,
you for being a trooper.
I think of Amy Adams in Sharp Objects.
Okay, I've never seen her in Sharp Objects.
So good. She's clearly so talented.
Yes.
This movie was not good. I mean, I'm sure it was a good choice for her career-wise, but this was not a good role for her.
It's not a good use of Amy Adams?
I don't think so.
This is how I know her.
Okay.
15 years, almost 15 years ago, it was Enchanted. So it was like, it was kind of like that, she was a Disney, IRL Disney princess, slaying the dragon, like being very fantastical and whimsical. For me, when hearing about this film, my immediate thought was, why wasn't this in movie theaters? One, is it going to happen? Two, why is this in movie theaters? It's going to streaming. And three, I saw almost no marketing towards it. Someone had told me that it was coming out around Thanksgiving and I should check it out. So I did. And that's when I was like, hey, maybe we should review this. Maybe not. I don't know. Amy Adams, interesting, and the family decamps to upstate New York, which I feel like a lot of folks do, so it's very, very relatable in some instances.
I was hopeful when I saw Maya Rudolph.
Yes.
I don't know, the script just wasn't as funny as I thought it could have been.
I agree. I think that there was a lot of these wicked stepmother tropes, and then trying to align or append it to real life situations, so like the PTA mom or the PTA leader or this or that, and these obligations. And some of that, I just felt like it was way too much, like keeping up with subplots and things like that. And of course, like James Marsden's like Prince Charming, which I love James Marsden because he is a full range actor and character actor. And I just felt like it was a lot. It was just like, what am I supposed to pay attention to? Like, how is this supposed to come up? Like, I never really thought of the wicked stepmother trope as anything other than, the glamorous gowns and all this other stuff. But for the most part, or in, the limiting factor of freedom for the young protagonist is very interesting.
I like James Marsden too. I thought in Enchanted he was great. He had some really great lines, like
Yes.
when always coming to America-ish. Like, of course, this is where I will, like rescue my bride. And I did like the chipmunk Pip in Disenchanted when he becomes a cat.
Yes. It becomes like the evil companion, and I'm like,
Right.
wow, that was felt relatively quick.
Yes, that was very clever. Let's go to the slides.
Wow, it was just average for you.
I know.
I now I feel now I regret being like, hey, you should watch this.
No, I'm glad I watched it. It's definitely like a pop culture touch point, right? Especially Enchanted from years ago. But I thought for Disney, like it just wasn't in each category. They did what they do best,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't do the best of what they do.
I agree.
I did like the costumes, but again, it could have been more. Like Morgan's dress could have been more elaborate.
I
And
wonder if like a lot of the budget for this film went to having a location or a studio, because I felt as though like they had the house and it was cool, but like having the atmosphere of the small town and all that stuff really probably had to bring up that value. But then also, if you're filming during COVID, is probably a
Mhm.
lot of restrictions.
I would have thought that most of the budget went to the cast. It seemed
Mhm.
like they were maybe reusing some sets from other places, repurposing them. Because if you're going to take it straight to streaming, you're not going to go to the theaters with it. Like you do have to keep in mind, like the payoff for that isn't going to be as high,
Very true.
especially if you're not marketing it. So I think they had a lower budget, and that it went to the cast. So
Fair.
Even jewelry, I only gave it a 2, even though like the earring that she lost when she was reaching in to get the wand, like was
Yeah.
a key part of it. It just wasn't, I don't know. I feel like if you're a Disney princess, man, your jewelry should be like out of this world. When I'm a Disney princess, I want my jewelry to be out of this world.
Yes, it would be like amazing.
Story, soundtrack, special effects, we agreed on both of those.
Yeah. The
Production,
songs were just like not that great
oh no.
compared to like the Disney film
Yes. Also,
songs.
I should put in the disclaimer that I don't like musicals. So that probably predispositioned me to not like this as much as I would have maybe if it were just a story. It's funny because Dax and I just went to the opera and he's like, that's all musical. Like, I know it's different somehow, though. It's in another
uh,
language, so I don't know that they are rhyming everything and that the words are very like simple. I don't.
Makes sense.
All right. Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
Nothing to plug here. How about you?
Nothing to plug. Looking forward to getting back to the theater next week. I already have like written out like the things I want to look for that are supposed to be coming out next week. And I feel like I missed some stuff that I thought maybe I would want to see, but I just didn't have time because everything was crammed in so tightly in November.
Yeah, I really hope that, at least a couple theaters, keep some things for a longer run because that would be so helpful. It's pretty bad when you get a 1 week window to, see things. And then you don't know, especially with, smaller productions, you don't know when it's going to go to VOD.
Right. It just seems poorly timed. Because you're releasing all of these amazing small movies that are great, but you're doing it around the holidays when people have less time to go sit in a theater. I mean, yes, people are going to go with their families, maybe once or twice, but they're not going to like be in the theater 5 times a week. And that's
Yep.
really what that schedule, that pace would require. So it's almost like they're shooting themselves in the foot somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. And I feel like especially with the Oscar season movies are usually December through early next year, it's you have to keep these films in the theater for a good period of time for people to see. Not the folks that get to get, screeners and vote because they're part of the Academy, but like just the general public need to see these because at the end of the day, the films are for the audience. The awards are like the nice to have.
Right, right. Like what was that movie that Penelope Cruz was the director and Antonio Banderas was in
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
it?
about, and I name escapes me.
I'll look it up and put it in the description. But that was like, she destroys her Palme d'Or award
Hmm.
to like say like this the awards mean nothing. Love Penelope Cruz.
It's true. I once went to a Halloween party where someone attempted to dress up as Penelope Tom Cruise,
How did
and they
that
had to
go?
explain their costume the whole time.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's true. I feel like even if you explained it to me, I would be like, oh,
And
okay.
it was just like light acid wash jeans with black boots and leather jacket and a long black wig.
All right. I'd like to know the other costumes that that person has used in subsequent years or prior years.
I've only seen this person once, and that's immediately stuck in our heads of like, remember Penelope Tom Cruise?
I mean, good for them, right? Like, be as inventive as you want to be. Now I'm trying to think of like, what other combinations can we make? Leanne Rhymes and Buster Rhymes.
Oh my gosh, that'd be great.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye bye.